I own physical copies of music and media because, it feels more intimate and personal, and it's definitely there, it's in your hands.
Yeah, I had like vinyls around and everything, so there's a part of something sentimental, something nostalgic.
People just want to actually physically own something they love instead of just going onto the phone and looking at that. They want to actually hold it.
There's a movement and people turn into more kind of physical things, media.
You have emotional connection with your vinyls because they tap into a moment in time. It took me back in time.
Because I have a dream today.
South Vietnamese troops are still engaged in the endless, weary, bloody business.
Automatically, 30 times a second. Zenith Color Sentry for a bright, rich, real picture.
This is Major Tom's ground control. I'm stepping through the door.
So relationships with vinyls and specific ones, I have quite a few. I'll name 3 off the top of my head. So my first vinyl that I ever bought, it was in the Isle of Wight, and it was Elton John. I can't remember I think it was the Yellow Brick Road one because it's got one of my favourite songs, Benny and the Jets, on it. And that was, it was in Isle of Wight where my mum's boyfriend's from, and he's a musician, and he got me into, physical media and appreciating older music, which I'm definitely much more of a fan of now. Not saying modern music isn't awful. And also one of the biggest, connections is the Doors one, because, that was the first time I explored music for myself and got into it. And, the art on all of them is amazing. And another one, my last one, this is going to get a laugh, but it's one of my George Michael vinyls, because my dad is a massive fan of George Michael, and it's really weird, but when my dad's dad, so my grandfather, was ill, he would listen to George Michael, and, it sort of gave him something to, have, going back to that, physical, you can't really lose it in a way. And I think my dad would play that a lot to me, and I thought, well, I must get a physical copy of it. Okay.
Wait. You're opening that door.
So that was interesting, right? So he's just
cover art, I think, is definitely one of the most important things when, thinking about art. It's very similar to film. You want the right image to sort of evoke the same emotion coming from the music. So when I went in there, I picked up a Janis Joplin vinyl, and one of my favourites has a really nice design, and I think it speaks a lot for the sort of psychedelic rock that was going on during, I want to say, late 60s, early 70s. So I think that's important. And also other examples like the Beatles, so Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The artist, I think his name is Peter Blake. I did some research on him back in my A-level days, and there's definitely deep thought and understanding going into it. It's iconography and, what do we idolize? And Peter Blake did a lot on love, so he created the love statue, and it's pretty much everywhere if you think about it. And I think, art can hold such a big value in our life because, everyone needs to have creativity.